right? So we can use, we should enable the user who frequently uses systems to use such shortcuts. Special key sequences and macros can be designed to perform functions which are regularly used, so as to make them more quickly executable. Feedback, as I've been repeating again and again, feedback is very important for the user. Even if a expert user, or especially for novice users, the user needs feedback at almost all steps, so as to make the user aware of the kind of progressive level he's moving towards, whether he's moving towards his intention goal, desired goal or not, whether his actions which he's taking are appropriate for his intention, his desired goal or not. So therefore, at every step we have when we perform some action, a dialog box appears, uh, a feedback or informative, useful information, so that the user may make aware of what is exactly happening as a result, as a consequence of his actions. Right? And the feedback has to be relevant. Of course, relevant is very important. Otherwise, it seems to just increase your task. Then fourth is your design dialogues to yield closure. This is very important. So the user had a complete understanding that the task has been completed or not. Otherwise, there'll be massive confusion. So we can have dialog boxes appear in the favor of feedback, or some pop-up dialogues at the end of some actions. There's no more actions required from the user's end so as to achieve a particular goal. This you all see all the time. You use different websites, you do use different software, so you are aware of all these things, but then we take them for granted. But then who are designing the systems, for them, all these things matter a lot while they're designing any particular software. The kind of interface design has to be done. Many of you may be moving towards that side, so these things have to be taken into care. Yes, I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I have to also take feedback again and again, so as to understand you are understanding or not, my voice is clear or not. Okay. Then we have, of course, we have to offer error prevention and simple error handling. Offer error prevention and simple error handling. So that we have to prevent the users from making mistakes that may be forward or that may be backward, that may be forward, that may be backward. The error recovery, you are enabling the user, it may be forward error recovery or a backward error recovery. We have already discussed earlier in the chapter. So that the users are prevented from making mistakes. And even if they have done, because we have already understood, we already know, this is common knowledge, that human beings are prone to error. To err is human beings. This we have discussed in the beginning lectures, that the designing should be done so as to incorporate that errors are bound to occur. Even expert users, they make errors all the time. So human beings do make errors. You have to give the feedback to them. You have to enable them in case of errors. You have to enable the user to do error handling, and how to make them, to prevent error at the first place. And even if they have error has occurred, how to recover the previous state, or to go forward or to go backward. redo, undo, like we have discussed earlier, and various other formats. Sixth is permit easy reversal of actions. Permit easy reversal of actions. Right? So this, of course, is related to the first part also, the earlier guideline, the earlier rule, because users tend to become anxious that we may lose some of our data. We have, by mistake, we have done some error, or intentionally or unintentionally, how to recover, how to go back to a previous state. So obviously, that reversal of actions, it is related to the first guideline, the first rule, the fifth one. Right? Then we have support internal locus of control. Support internal locus of control. See, one thing we have to understand is that system is for us. We are not for system. Human beings have to use systems, and system have to abide by whatever user action is taken by the user. Therefore, the entire control should be in the user's hand, not the other way around. The system has not to dictate the user what is to be done, what not to be done. But in case the user has to be in control of all the action, of all the actions taken by him, has to be empowered accordingly. So therefore, system has to respond to the user's actions. So therefore, we have to give control of system to the user. Next, we have reduce short-term memory load. Reduce short-term memory load. We have been working on a paper for hypertext, and in that, what we observed was that, graphical overviews are very important when we talk about, when the user is navigating through a hypertext, and so as to keep, the cognitive load on the users to a minimal. So on each page, whenever the user is navigating towards all the pages in a hypertext, so these graphical overviews of what all the user has searched about and what lies ahead. So these graphical overviews tend to reduce the cognitive load on the user. Specifically, I'm talking about the hypertext reading material available online for educational purposes. So graphical overviews, for example, can be used for reducing the cognitive load on the user. Likewise, so therefore, what I mean to say is that the, the kind of information the user has to remember at all times while working on a single screen, what the user has done till now, what is to be done. So these all, if they're summarized somehow, and thereby reducing the short-term memory load of the user, plays a very significant role so as to achieve greater amount of work done by the user at any period of time. And we all know by now that we have to work in the direction so as to reduce the cognitive load on the user, so as to minimize the strain of working on systems. So what they've said is we have to keep displays simple, keep displays simple. A summarized version means consolidating We can use consolidate the information given in multiple pages and display them in summarized versions so as to user can have a quick look at all times, and thereby there's no need to remember anything. Consolidating multiple page displays. Consolidating multiple page displays. And providing time for learning action sequences. Providing time for learning action sequences. So as to keep the user at ease at all times. There's no hurry, there's no rush, but still the work can be done in spite of the fact that user may be learning what is to be done. As I repeat, telling you again and again, these are very important guidelines from exam point of view as well as from the subject's point of view for knowledge of the subject as well. So you will, whenever you encounter any research paper guidelines, you will see whenever you're talking about a software or interface designing, you will see other pillars wherein any interface design is evaluated. Whatever popular interface design you encounter, you will see that it adheres to all these. Although they are abstract in nature, then the context will apply here. But then, of course, these are principles, the rules, which actually can be applied and can lead to a successful interface design, both in terms of saleability as well as use. Right? Norman 7 principles we'll be discussing in the next class. As of now, let me just quickly let us go through a few students. Let us start from the last roll number. The question which I gave in the last class, I was not able to discuss because of some work last time. Nishant? Nishant is not there, I think. Okay, then we have Debaru.
Actually, ma'am, I don't remember the question.
You don't remember the question, means you people don't write anything?
No, ma'am, actually, I had taken the screenshot, but then...
Means you are not even bothered to look, Debaru, no?
No, ma'am, I searched it that time, but right now I can't find it.
Amandeep?
Yes, ma'am, just a moment. I'm searching for the question where I've written answer.
Okay. Okay, Nishant is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Nishant.
So, ma'am, the possible ways to set measurement levels. Some of the ways can be like we can set the levels with respect to information on an existing system or previous version, and like we can set levels by carrying out the task without the use of a computer system, and we can also use our own prototype.
Nishant, can you just repeat the? Can you first repeat the question so that everybody who is not aware of the question?
So the question was, what are the possible ways to set measurement levels in a usability specification?
Right, right. I hope everybody is heard now. Yes, Nishant.
So, ma'am, I was saying that we have like many ways to set levels. So, one of the way could be like by carrying out the task without the use of a computer system, and we can also use our own prototype for this, and we can also set level with respect to a successive split of the difference between the best and worst values which are
Nishant, do you
observed
remember?
in the level.
Nishant, do you remember some of the metrics we have discussed earlier pertaining to this question? In one of the lectures in this chapter only, we have considered certain metrics with respect to usability. I specifically told this thing, in fact. Okay, so please look into it, right?
Okay,
Then we
ma'am.
have Manoj, 114. Manoj.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Manoj.
Yes, ma'am. So the possible ways to set measurement levels in a usability specification could be first, we need to restrict the major or critical issues, and the initial performance and the first impression are appropriate most of the times. And now coming to the level, measurement level. So for one of those levels could be the current level, that is the present level of the value to be measured, and it is possible even from a manual system or an initial prototype. Another measurement level could be the worst acceptable level, and by worst acceptable level mean the worst acceptable, not the worst possible level. So, and if any value of an attribute does not meet this level, we can conclude that the system is not acceptable. And then uh, we another level could be the target level, in where the attributes at this level needs development effort, which means that uh, we need to set and the target level has to be set higher than the current level. Then at last comes the best possible level, which is the realistic upper limit that can be achieved, and the best possible level also indicates that there is room for future improvement. So these
Okay,
are the
Manoj,
levels.
partly it is correct. Yes,
Excuse me,
Amandeep.
ma'am.
Yes, yes, Amandeep.
Ma'am, so the different metrics that were recommended for the usability metrics were first was effectiveness, which could be measured using the completion rate or the number of errors. Then was efficiency, which we could measure using the time taken to complete several tasks. And the last was satisfaction, which could be measured using the observable user performance that's usually associated with the benchmark test a user will perform. Or second way to measure the same is user opinion, which is associated with questionnaire or interviews that help in calculating the difficulty of a task or satisfaction level of user, etc.
Right. Good, good. Then we have 1-3. Arcade.
Um, we can measure either on the absolute scale or a relative scale
Okay.
on the basis of parameters like told by Amandeep. Like in absolute scale, like we can measure like how much time is taken like for a user to click on a button, and on a relative scale, like we can compare two different users and time taken by them, or we can another way is comparing two different systems and then compare like having a same user and then compare the time taken by them.
Okay. 12. Kushal. Yeah, Kushal, I'll read your answer. In the meantime, Nikita is present.
Ma'am, can I go?
Yes. Who was it?
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so, ma'am, usability in usability specifications, we have a table in which we measure usability attribute, measuring instrument, values to be measured, current level and target level. In usability attribute, we measure the initial performance the benchmark task descriptions. In measuring instrument, we we measure the metric to be measured. So, for example, time to complete task, number of errors, number of commands or mouse clicks or actions to be performed by user. And then in the current level, we see the level of performance of the current version of the system. And then in target level, we see the value indicating the usability success for the present current version.
Okay. Then we have 09, Anjali.
The matrix includes checking the effectiveness. So effectiveness is the accuracy and the completeness with which users achieve specific goals. This includes the completion rate. So how many users were able to complete given task that they were performing, and the number of errors that a user went through while performing the task. And then the second one is efficiency. That is the resources into the accuracy and completeness with which users achieve goals. So there's time-based efficiency. That is how much time the user took to complete the task, and then there's overall relative efficiency. That is how many users completed the overall task. And then there's and third point is satisfaction, which refers to the comfort and acceptability of use of the product.
Okay. 08, Archit. Aditya. Okay, Aditya, I have to read your answer. In the meantime, Ashish.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Ashish.
So, ma'am, the possible ways to set the measurement levels. The first one can be set with respect to the existing system or the previous version. And the second point is that we can set it on an absolute scale, or it can be set on users' previous earlier performance. And the fourth point is that it can be that can be set on a successive split difference between best and the worst values observed in a user test.
Right. Rahul. Harsh has written here. 94, Ajay. $93, Jay. 92, Akash Singh. Yes, Nikita, I'm seeing your answer. Akash Singh is present. Akash is also writing. Then we have 91, Kanishk. Kanishk, are you also writing or? Yes, Kanishk. Kanishk, you are, okay, you are writing. Anjali? Anjali's mic is also not working. 84, Praptej. Praptej, are you writing or you want to speak, or Praptej is not here? Then we have 83. Aman, I will read answer yours. Then we have Ritesh is there.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. We can basically set levels with respect to information on a user's own prototype or an earlier previous established system or a previous version, basically. And we can also set information based on an absolute scale or a user's own prototype or his own earlier performance. And each component of a system can be separately, we can set levels for them separately, and a successive split of the difference between best and worst values observed in users own. So yeah.
Okay. Then we have Manvi.
So we can have like attributes like guessability. It measures how easy it's for user to use our system without any training. And and another attribute could be task migratability. Basically, when a user is trying to perform a task in our system compared to the conventional methods on pen and paper, or he's migrating from another system to our system, how easy it is for the user to implement that same task on our system.
Okay. 76 Nancy.
Yes, ma'am. So, according to Whiteside, Bennett, and Holzbalt, we can set measurement levels in a usability specification with respect to, let's say, our own prototype, or with respect to a previous version, or a user's earlier performance. So, all these, as everyone has already mentioned, they can be measured in terms of three major usability metrics, that is effectiveness, efficiency, and satisfaction. So effectiveness is always percentage of goals achieved. Efficiency is the time taken to achieve that goal, and satisfaction is what the user rates in his scale of satisfaction.
Okay. 72 Shivani. '71 Siddharth. Okay, Shivani. Okay, then I'll take attendance now. I hope the question and the answer is clear, I think, by now. And I hope people who have not yet filled in the sheet, Google Sheet shared with you, have filled in. And I also assigned this task to someone in the class. I think they must have scheduled the presentation for 15. Yes, Shivani. Yes,
ma'am. Share it on the main group.
Okay.
Ma'am.
Okay. So I can see that sheet, na? It must be there also, na? Shared with us, everybody.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just sharing it right now.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Then we have, I'm just taking your roll call now. Siddharth is present.
Yes, ma'am. Present, ma'am. Ma'am, I have written my answer in the chat box.
Okay. Please attend to your roll call now. 68 Karthik is present.
Yes, ma'am. 68 present.
Harshit, 67 Harshit.
Ma'am, 68 present.
Yes, Karthik, I have marked you.
Okay.
Harshit. 63 Amit.
Present, ma'am.
61 Sherlin.
Present, ma'am.
60 Anmol.
Present, ma'am.
59 Abhijit.
Present, ma'am. 59.
57 Arjun. 53 Arjun.
Present, ma'am. 53.
Okay. Then we have Apar.
Yes, ma'am.
25 Vaibhav Verma.
Present, ma'am.
28 Amit.
Present, ma'am. Present.
Yes. 40 Aryan.
Present, ma'am. Aryan.
39 Jigyasu.
Present, ma'am.
37 Bhumika.
Present, ma'am.
36 Ravi. Then Ravi is present.
Ma'am.
Okay. 35 Ashish.
36 present,
Yes. Ashish.
Present, ma'am.
Anirudh.
Present, ma'am. 34.
Okay. Okay. 33 Vaibhav Sharma.
Yes, ma'am.
31 Govind.
Present, ma'am. 31.
Okay. 29 Dalit.
Yes, ma'am. Present.
27 Nishan.
Present, ma'am. 27.
26 Suraj.
Present, ma'am. 26.
Siddhant. 23 Siddhant. 21 Akhil. 27 Nishant. I have marked you already. Okay, 21 Akhil is not there. 19 Johnson.
Yes, ma'am. Present.
Okay. 18 Ayush. 15 Himanshu.
Present, ma'am.
Paras, I have marked you already. 13 Mayank.
Present.
11 Aniket.
Present, ma'am.